I am sorry about the delay here. There was a technical difficulty with Streamlabs to getting this thing set up. So I have to do my audio check. There we go. Because seems like when I don't check it, my audio is screwed up. So, alright, now we're good to go. And the only thing we have to do, well, not to say the only thing, but we do have to finish out our project test router. I mean, not test router, test suite. And the way that we're testing that is to drop down into this test here. And actually, I'm sorry. I believe we left off finishing the get all kind of router. That's what I'm calling it anyway. And then we just have to touch our patch and our, excuse me, projects / ID. So we have to we have to test out the patch and we have to test out the delete endpoint, and then we are good to go. And I did skip dinner, so I'm gonna munch on this granola bar for the first few minutes of this, so I apologize for that rattling sound. And let's see. So we're gonna run our first test. And this is gonna be should update an existing project. And then we're going to do our async. We're going to have that arrow function there. And then we're going to say const response equals request, well, await request, and pass it the app. And then we're going to do our dot in the wrong place. So I'm going to do our dot here, and then this is going to be dot patch, and we're going to pass in the endpoint that is in, so it's going to be patch. And then we're going to use our wrong setup here, so we got to use these special strings, and then it'll be / projects / and let's just use project 1 ID, right? And then now we just have to worry about what we're going to send. We're going to send, and we're just going to update the, let's see, what fields do we have available to update. Let's update the content. So I'm trying to think. Sections, grab the first very rude. I'm sorry, talking with your mouth full is rude, so I do apologize. But let's see. So we're gonna do sections, and the way I did was I wanted to get that first object that's coming off of here, so that's why I did sections. I did 0, and then I want to do dot content, and then hopefully that works. I get it. It won't let me change that. So this is going to be a test, obviously, because now we're trying to get right on this object. So I'm thinking it's got to be like, for this specific test, we're trying to get something specific, but with JSON, you don't necessarily have kind of that nesting opportunity that you always do when you're not always, but if we're doing like request dot query. It's hard to really do that with JSON. So I'm trying to think about what would be the way to get access to that property. So I'm just going to try my hand and just do content and see if it's smart enough to put it right on this content here. The only result, my only reserve here is that on this sections object, it doesn't know which, since it's an array, we don't know which one to put it on. So actually, let's go ahead, let's just play around with this. and see what happens, because if I try to do sections, right, I can update sections. I guess if I go into the first array and change it, I would have to send in a whole new array. So let's just try this. We got sections. We're trying to take the first property on that. So let's just do content and see what happens. That's really the only way, right? Update using jest. And then we're going to expect a 200 error. I mean, not response, not an error from this. And we're just going to send that off. npm run test, right? So this is how we actually get the test going. And let's see how this is playing out. Taking a second to run, so that's kind of a good sign, really. It's showing that, hey, it's not broke, because if it's broken, we see a pretty fast response here. And it didn't run the first group of tests, because what it's doing is it's really saying, oh, since your last push or your last commit, you haven't changed anything, so I'm not going to run any tests because you already know the state, right? That's what it's assuming anyway. But here we just ran our tests and they all passed, right? So that means we can go in and directly access this content. However, I don't think that it actually did what we think it did, so that's why I'm going to go down and we're going to console log this, because this is the part that's going to be important. So we're going to do console. Actually, I put this in the wrong place. I need to put this up a little higher. So it's got to be console, and let me do our backtab.log, and we're going to check out the response dot body, and we just want to see what it's sending out, because it should be sending back the project object. So now we get to take a look at what's going on there. And then while that's running, I want to take a look over here at let's say accessing array index JSON, right? Because we have an array, we have some indexing going on, and we're trying to get a specific index from the JSON. So for instance, actually I want to do the opposite. I don't want to get it from the JSON, I want to pass that in. So we've really got to go say, okay, access an array, let's say send update JSON index object. So here, this is what we get. Oh, I just clicked on something. I don't know why my internet's a little slow today. So here we go here, right? And JSON object. So here they're trying to grab something else from there. That's not what I want. So I'm gonna go down and do something a little bit more dynamic here. I'm just trying to take a second to think about this because I've never done this before. So as you see here, we have this sections, right? So I know we have to get into sections somehow. And actually, let me go up and look at the console log, because I should have at least logged that out. Oh, we got unauthorized. So we should be authorized to patch this, and I'm not going to type that out. I'm actually going to piggyback on. Wait, these are gets. Our gets shouldn't do this, but our post should. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to set our authorization right there. And if I go and send this, we can see the response. And there we go. So now, if we look at content, as we see, it didn't change, and that was pretty much my thought process. So now I'm trying to think about this as the object, right? So now we have an object that is shown apparently without a name. So there's a few things going on here. We got an object, no name, and I think I know why we don't have a name. Actually, no, I don't. So I take that back because the name is definitely on this one here. So if we look at our sections, it's an array first. So I thought if we did sections and just try to add that on there, that's kind of hard. So update index JSON request or HTTP request. Let's say nested property. How to access nested. Get request with nested JSON object. There we go. This might be what we're looking for. And here. So we got inner objects array something. That's I usually always try to go down to the bottom, but it doesn't allow me to do that either. That's probably what we're looking for here. So we have a nested object like this. How do we get that? So it seems like if we're doing a post, we have to grab the original array, right? So what we'll do is we'd have to do something like this. We'd have to go, how can I find this? And this actually might have to be something that have to do with the actual code, right? Because if we're trying to update the section, you'd have to, well actually, I mean, in reality, would you just update this specific part, right? We'd send that we're not just going to do one piece of this, we're going to do the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to do const project equals await. We're going to do project dot find by ID. So we're going to find our project by our by its ID in this wrong part. And then we're going to use that, and I'll show you in a second. So we're going to get that project, and then we're going to say project, and we're going to say, I'm just going to say sections equals project, project, right? Yeah, dot sections. And then what we want to do is pick our specific update, and then we're going to say, I think we only have this going one deep, so only thing we're going to do, we're going to do say sections dot add, or I think it's concat. I forget it should be an array. Well, it doesn't know that because it's in TypeScript. So let's say JavaScript add to array. Oh, dot push would be good. Okay, so we're gonna do sections dot push, and we're just gonna push on and again, this is going to be, we have to pass in a whole new section now. So if we grab this section here, actually we have all this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down in here now and say we're going to push on this new thing. So we're going to say we're going to push in this, I'll just call this subheading. Subheading, and then we're going to say this is another topic. And then now we've modified the section that we want to put in, and then we're going to go down here when we actually send this off. We're going to say sections, and then we're actually going to send in the sections that we just created up here. And I think I need to do this let actually I'm going to say new sections, just to make sure everything is specific, so there's no mix up here. So I'm going to say new sections dot I guess let's say section sections. It's kind of weird, right? And actually, we're just going to do with the information we want to pass. We want to do sections 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this is actually going to be sections. So I'll leave it back to where it was, pretty much, because it'll know, the JSON will know that the object, what I'm trying to say, JSON will know that this is a property and this is the value. So I want to get the value of the information at this specific index. And since we did push, we know that the 0 is the first part, and this is the, and then 1 is the second location. So I want to see if this works. I'm not sure because I don't know how it'll, I don't know if the JSON will parse it to a string. So let's just see that. Another thing that I can do is I can push this and then use JSONify to convert this new array to a, what's the word I'm looking for, to a JSON object. So the only thing I'm going to do is look for, oh, here we go, we got it in there. And where did that console log? There we go. Yeah, response.body. So when you look at the response body, we get our overview, we get our description, the image, the date started, name, sections, and then this time you see sections, and then down in here you see the second one that says subheading, and that's the one that we modified. So that's working as expected, and don't worry about the fact that we had to do it in this kind of convoluted, not convoluted way, but we did have to send in the original sections object in order to, not the original, but we had to tack it on and send back the sections object in its modified state. Otherwise, it would be, if whatever we sent in would overwrite whatever was in sections, and that's just because of the way that we have this in here. Again, when we change the way our project router is set up, this test may fail because the structure is going to be different, so we'll have to keep that in mind. So I'm actually not going to take the time to go through all of this extra stuff. Actually, I can. That way the core will be there. And just to make all of this stuff, and now that we know this is how we're going to do it, the only thing I'm going to do is, as I did before, when I get to the patch, I'm just going to copy and paste all of this stuff, because it's, we know exactly what we're going to test here. And I mean, if I wanted to be particularly lazy, I can go ahead and grab the delete post as well. And reason being is we're testing the same exact thing, we're just doing it in a different suite. So I'm going to leave the first one because I actually want to copy that information. And when we get down here, we're going to have a problem because this describe is in the wrong block. And that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to grab this. And I think there might be one more. Nope. So I think we can just get rid of this. And if I look and make sure that these match, we should be good to go. Yep. So those match, and then what I'm going to do is a bunch of modifications. I just really don't like typing more than what I have to do. So now I'm just going to do my Control F, and I'm going to look for a post, and I'm going to make sure that I match the specific casing, because some of these postings are actually project. And so now I'm just going to turn this into project, and that's, I'm sorry, most of those posts with the capital P is for the post model, and we want to make sure we don't mix those up by putting in the lowercase project. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And I didn't do projects because the S will just stay there, and if I just modify this post, I'll catch those plural cases as well. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all of those, and then I'm just going to change this to a capital P post. Actually, no. I just realized the error in my ways. I have to do two things. I have to make sure that the post, right, that we're looking at doesn't have a dot in front of it. Because if it has a dot in front of it, and I'm actually looking for some of these to drop off. There we go. So I don't want a dot in front of it. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to put a space before it just to make sure we don't get those dot posts. Because if we do a dot post, then we're going to have a problem. Um, and I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna. So these, all the ones that we're worried about are, let's see. As long as it says patch, we're good to go. And so this is the part I was talking about. I didn't want to do dot post and then screw up my post routers. So now when I'm here, I know what's going on. So now I can go ahead and start making my changes. And I won't do replace all. I'll just have to manually go through and click really, really fast. Or actually, I can just go ahead and replace all because there's only 5 posts. So I can just go ahead and fix those really, really quick. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all of those. And I'm just going to do dot project and look those up and convert those back to post. And if I go replace, oh, I forgot to do dot. There we go. Dot post and replace all. I feel like I missed one because I know before when I looked at it, it said there was 5 of these things, but I'm only seeing the 4. So I'm just gonna look through these really quick. Alright, so I think I'm good to go. So now I want to do my control F, and then I'm going to do capital P post, and I'm going to do replace this with capital P project and replace those. So now everything is just about ready. So another thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to copy this thing here, and then what I'll do is so there's 2 things I can create. I can have a method for this and just return what I want, or you know, I can just copy paste this into a bunch of different places, because I really probably only need to use this twice, because the rest of these are going to not really do anything. So what I want to do is I'm just going to move this thing up to be here actually, and I'm just gonna say my project. And the reason why I'm using my project is because of, actually no, yeah, I'm using my project because I don't want it to get messed up with the rest of the projects down here. And actually, I guess I can call it, instead of my project, I'm calling it project to update. And I can double click this and hit F2, and I'll say project to update. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is just so it doesn't get mixed up with these when I do project here. So make sure everything's consistent, because this is actually a global scope now. So this will be available to all of the other routes. I mean, all of the other tests. So now that we have this global thing that we're going to be using over and over again to update our sections, now I have sections here, and I can just grab this now, and anywhere I'm making changes to something with an update, I can just go ahead and throw this in here. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to throw that in there. Should update, should not update an existing, oh wait, no, yeah, should update an existing project, but it shouldn't update an existing I didn't think this one through. So this test I'm actually not going to need. So I'm going to pull that one out completely, because it's updating the image, and I don't want to get into images on projects because it looks pretty messy when you look at the model. And again, I know it's going to change, so I don't want to go too deep in this. So actually, I forgot the first one's already here, so I'm going to pull that one out as well, because that is covered in this test right here. Next thing I'm going to do is should throw an error if not authenticated. So to make this easy, I'm just going to make sure we put in the right information there. Update the same as we did here, and just make sure we get that 401, which we will. And the only thing is here, I'm going to change this dot status to section, right? And then weird part here is actually I want to get this original sections. So what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to say sections 0. I can do sections, and then I'm going to use the first one because it shouldn't have updated. So that's one kind of cheat way we can do this. And since this is repeating, I'm just going to do the same thing we've been doing. So it would be sections, right? And then to be, we're going to do sections, and then we're going to use the first item on that index. And here, same kind of thing. Should throw an error if the project doesn't exist. I don't really have to do anything here. In this particular case, I'm just going to use the name because that's easier. Let's see here. In this particular case, I don't think we have anything going on like that where we're doing any validation. So I don't need this particular error. So I'm going to pull that off. And then, let's see. Should throw an error if the project doesn't exist. We've already got that working, and we're using the name, so we're good there. Should not create duplicates. I'm gonna make this easy, and I'm just gonna say name, and I'm gonna change the name to project 2, which already exists. And down here, we see we have the name and the type being unique, and I believe these two are already under the same type. Yes. So I'm gonna go. A little slow here, and instead of doing that, I'm saying project 2 is the name now, so we're good there. And then we're going to say we want to make sure that the name is still project 1, so project 1, and that's all we had to do for this. So just to sum it back up, we created this thing that we're going to use in other places. So then we have our const, and we're using that for our response. So now we're going to expect, actually there's two things we're going to do. This is really what I want, actually. So we want to make sure that our response body matches what's going on here. And just to make it easy, I'm just going to say response.body.sections, right, equal to be the sections that we have up here. So that's all we had to do with this one. That's more of oops, excuse me. And actually I want to make sure that equals project. That's actually trying to think. We want to make sure that it went through. So in order to make sure it went through, we're going to say project, right, dot sections equals sections to make sure it's the exact sections that we changed here. Let's see, down here we can, well, this is the one I think we just tested. Yep. And then when you go down to this next one here, we're doing kind of the same thing, except we know that we're not authenticated, so we need to make sure that we only have the original sections object that we sent. Down here, should throw an error if the project does not exist. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I want to make sure that this is how can I do this? I want to it should be an array, but if I give it an index, we'll have a problem. So what I'm going to do is, I believe it's .pop. Let's say remove JavaScript, remove the last index, remove last array from index in array JavaScript. Probably could have did this with less words. Removes the last. Oh, yep, that's it. I thought pop. Yeah. Oh, so pop was good. Okay, I thought so. So I'm just gonna do sections.pop, and this is gonna remove the index that we added from up here. But hopefully, actually, I want to make sure that I don't remove it. I want to say view. I want to say actually I want to say return and array. Actually, I think I'm good because the reference is still the same. So my thought process here is that if I do pop on this, I might alter the original state of the sections that we've been trying to use. So if I do this, I want to make sure it doesn't affect anything else. and actually I don't think it will. So I think I'm safe to go ahead and do this because all the tests that are using it are just above it. So when I go ahead and do sections.pop, we're good to go. So should throw an error. We get that error. Change the name. We should get an error. If I check this stuff here, this should delete both of the projects that are in there, and then these are just testing the length. So here should delete all specified projects. With this one, I believe, I don't know what was going on here. Oh, we're expecting a 401 error. So I need to change this to say should throw an error if unauthorized, right? And then of course I should probably copy this and make sure I change the name over here in post, right? Should throw an error if unauthorized. And I'm going to save both of these, and I might get an error if I screwed something up when I was making my changes, and that seems to be the case anyway. So let's go ahead and see what happened. So right off the bat, we're seeing that, oh, I see. So there is an async, we have a sync, where is this? Oh, we're in the wrong router. So we have an async going on when we do our lookup, but we don't have, I'm sorry, we have an await, but we don't have async going with this. So I need to add that async to our describe block now, because we're actually trying to do some asynchronous stuff over here with, excuse me, with the lookup. So hopefully, okay, so now we got 4 tests failing as opposed to the whole suite. So again, this is probably more so about my typos or something with when I'm returning. So another thing I want to get rid of, I think I already did, is get rid of that console log if I haven't already. I saw something printing down to the screen. Yeah, it's gone. So looking down here, they're getting 0 and expecting 2. So let's check this out. So let's see. Projects should not create. There we go. So should not create projects if unauthorized. Should not create project. Control F. Should not create projects. And I can just hit down now since there's only 2 if unauthorized. So we're expecting a 401 here, but we got something else, and this is with the post on which router is this? So project/projects, and we're doing post. So instead of getting that 401, we got something completely different. And let's go and look at the router and see why we got that. So, and I want to see if this is how low this is. Okay, so this is definitely one of the top ones. So by moving the authorization on this, seems like we lost something there. Well, actually, no, it's not that. It's just the response is not giving the response we expected. And that is because /projects, right? I think when we have our auth router up in there, so what I'm thinking happened is that whatever we tried to pass in beforehand screwed it up. Bad request. Yeah, what else we give us bad request? Because we know it's not the duplicate because we have this covered here in our test. Not in our test, but in our catch block. So if we got a 400, there was something else going on there. Let's see. Project 3. We did give it a name. It has the overview. Everything is set up as it should be. So I'm thinking this is something from the database not clearing possibly, because I'm seeing some stuff about duplications down here, especially here. So this is I want to say this looks like should not create projects if unauthorized. So that's the one we're looking at there. And then just below that, we're also getting the error with duplicates. So let's figure this out piece by piece. First thing I'm going to do is check to see in here if we delete many, and we do. We also set up our user DB. We make sure we're waiting for us to delete, and we delete when we're done, and we also disconnect. So that's good. And it seems like I didn't get that problem until we got down to the end of this. I think I see the problem. Nope. I thought the problem was that I missed a closing tag, so the references were off. That's not it. Let's see. Because we didn't have that before, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure what exactly caused that to just pop up somehow. Wait, app post dot authorization, and our user one is good. I want to check this out right here. I think it's because we don't have a name. Oh, actually no, we're expecting that. That's the one we're expecting. This is the one that should be working. That post dot send. Everything there should be fine. So what the hell? It's getting a 400 instead. I really don't see what's going on there. It's got to be something. Nope. Interesting. And let me just. I'm interested in rolling this back to see what happens. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into Robo3T. I'm gonna drop the database, and then just we'll drop this collection for our projects and see if that fixes the problem. So let's go in here, look at collections, and we're just going to drop this, and then we're good. And now if I go and just rerun all the tests, I can just hit enter. Let's see what we get. A return is from a promise. Here we go. Test must be returning the value from scribe will fail the test in future versions of Jest. So that's already something. And there we go. So dropping the database to fix whatever issues were going on. And I think it's like we're creating stuff, but we're getting issues. And then here in our projects, we're getting should not create projects without required fields. This one is, as you can guess, is an issue with the authentication. I'm going to type in required fields. And here we go here. So yeah, well, it says unauthorized, but we are. So this one's interesting. And interesting how those two traded off. And then should not create projects without. So it's actually giving us two issues to create a new project. Cannot read property sections of null. So, should create a new project. Now I'm starting to think that sections that I passed in is causing some problems, because this is what it's looking at here. So it's saying it's null now. So we're saying let sections, right? And we use project to update dot. Oh, I think it's because, all right, so I'm going to create a function for what I had in that describe block here. And I'm going to just return the sections that we had. I think that's what's causing the problem. Describe probably isn't meant to be asynchronous. It's probably meant for, not say probably, but it's just meant for a little bit more. And I can actually, instead of doing that, I can just make it so Control Z. And what I'm actually going to do is make it really easy. I'm just going to say const sections, right, equals. And instead of creating a function and making it tedious and putting it all in other places, I'm just going to create an array right here in place that we'll have access to. So the only thing I have to do now is grab the first piece of that array that's supposed to be there anyway, and then just go down and put that in where it needs to be, and that is here. So put the array there, hit my comma, and then boom. So now we have our array. Now we have the new sections just as we did before, but everything's local. So if I do this, maybe this will fix the test without me having to do anything extra. And then we can also see if our project is going to have issues with the database in terms of like the stuff that's already there, trying to overwrite that. So I'm still getting 2 failures here. But in this particular case, I think it's more about the values not matching up, which I'm perfectly happy with. And why is it still console logging? Returning a promise from describe. So this shouldn't even be a problem because it's a constant. And I'd like to think a lot of this stuff is sometimes because you don't clear your terminal out. Again, it's like it can kind of store the settings that you have in there, especially when you're manipulating databases and stuff like that. So sometimes it takes a second for that stuff to register, so I just clear it, stop it, whatever you want to do, and just reset your terminal to a new state, and that should at least take those factors out. And we still have those 2 failing tests here, and again, it's because the IDs don't match in this particular case. I didn't give the sections an ID, and each section actually should have its own ID. In this case, it's expecting, actually this is probably a mismatch altogether. So let me go all the way up to see which test this is. And why am I still console logging something? So describe project's ID. So it's already having an issue with returning a value from describe will fail in the test. And okay, so it's just not liking that at all. So again, I'm used to using another kind of test space, so that's why I wasn't aware of some of the stuff that Jest doesn't allow you to do. So I'm just gonna make this global, and I'll just say do this, and then down in those patch routers, instead of doing sections, I'm gonna call this updated sections, just to make sure that the name is specific. And then it's be updated sections, updated sections, updated sections, and I don't think I have to carry that out down here. And then now I get to go up to the top, and I'm just going to rename this to updated sections, and let's see if that fixes anything. And again, this is one of the, like I said, one of the issues that comes with copying and pasting. I thought I saved myself some time, which in reality I didn't. Let's see. So, oh, objects. I didn't give them objects. And actually, it seems like the images array needs an object. So it's more than just this, right? So what we can do is we can say sections dot, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the, which part of the sections is this that we're looking at? I'm going to do dot content, and then we can actually just do a dot content on that as well, right? So now we can do dot content, and then I need to do actually this one I'm just gonna do a dot length, and we're gonna do dot length. Actually, we know it's 2, right? So we're just gonna put 2. That's one way to cheat that one, because we don't really care what's in there. Well, we do care, but we want to see that it's there. We don't necessarily have to check the value. I think those were the 2 tests that was affected. Still having at least one of these are failing. Okay, there we go. So now we're having some different kind of failures. So we're moving in the right direction. Let's see, returning a promise from describe is not supported. Oh, never took out the async. So the whole time, I probably could have kept everything the way it was, but I've already changed this enough that I'm just going to leave it. And I'm just going to take that out because that's what it's telling us, I think. When I left that async in there, it was just like, hey, if you try to return a promise, it's not going to work. In this particular case, I don't even think that was an issue. I think they were just trying to get us to not do this. Let's describe. Yeah, because everything else we're doing is in our test. So I think that was the issue they were trying to point out to us. And here, should not update an existing project, or should update an existing project, is also giving an error because of we're expecting 2 sections, and in this case we only got 1. So that means that I don't know what that is. So let's console log it because I was expecting to see console.log, and this will do a response.body. And now I want to see what's going on in there. Oh, I see. I took one of those off. There we go. I don't know if you guys noticed that I was trying to pick a specific index, but I have to send that object in wholly, that array in wholly, because if I just pick a piece of the array off, then it's a new array. Should throw an error if not authenticated. This shouldn't matter, but I'm just going to make sure that matches. And now if I run the test, it should match. And that probably could have been the error the whole time. So now we only have one failing test. In this case, it should throw error if project does not exist. And in this case, we're getting undefined. And the reason being is, where is it? Does not exist. Expect a 404. Right? And here we got something else. So we're saying, oh, I see. We were expecting, wait, I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing any expectation for this. Oh, here we go. Should throw an error if not authenticated. We're expecting something to come out of this, but nothing's going to come out of that. Actually, we're saying, oh, we did sections, and then we did content. In order to get this, we'd have to say sections 0 dot content, but that's not really what we want either. We want to say that this section's object should match this section's object. Oh, that was the problem. We can't get the objects to match. So this is where we will do dot length. Let's do dot length, and then this should be 1. Because we're saying we didn't, since our change didn't go through, the sections that we added into that project should only have 1 section instead of the second section, that instead of 2, meaning that the section that we wanted to add on was able to go in. And seems like one of the suites didn't run, so I'm gonna Control C, CLS, and then run that again because it's supposed to be 50 something tests. User, I didn't see any testing anything about the user router, so I want to know why that didn't run, because right now it's only running projects and post, and it's probably because those 2 were the only routers that have changed since then. So I just hit A, so now we're getting all our tests to run, and there we go. Now we have 63 tests in total. And that actually finishes out our test suite, and that's kind of why I did it like that, just copy and pasting at the end, because I didn't want to get caught up with all of the different filtering and the sorting, the limit, all that kind of stuff when we do our post. So I just tried to, when I didn't try to, I just went ahead and kept it easy, and I think it was supposed to be this get that actually did it, not actually the patches, because patches should be maybe a little different. But in this particular case, we're good, right? We got our 404, right? If it doesn't exist, and we get our 409. Yep, we get our 409, and somewhere in here we're even able to get a 400, I think. Well, then, yeah, the only way we get a 400 here should be usually. I guess we should have used I guess we can use should, and this is in order to get the 400, there's got to be something wrong with the ID. So it should throw error if ID, right? You can do ID, lowercase ID, whatever, is invalid. And the way we do this is we're going to keep everything the same, except we're just going to change this ID here. Nope, ID here. And I'm going to do new Mongo, dot types, dot object ID. And again, at this point, I probably could have created a function for this, so that way I don't have to keep typing that out. But it's really no big deal to just write it for me. Other people might say that's when you should create a function for it, because you're repeating yourself. And that probably caused it to fail. Expected 200, got a 404. Not, oh, yeah, that's what I forgot to change. This should be a 404 now. Well, no, I thought we already got that 404. Oh, okay. So, I know what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a 400, and we weren't supposed to do this. I was actually supposed to make this a like a number. I can make this whatever I want, right? As long as because it's not in a valid ID. So IDs do look a little funky, so we can try it like that, and then send it back, and it'll still have the same behavior. Should fail. Excuse me. Let me grab some hand sanitizer, so I'll be right back. All right, so we still have one failing test, and it's probably the one we just manipulated. Kind of weird how these things change up. Oh, nope. Should throw an ID. So now I think we passed that part. I think we just had something wrong here. Yeah, that's all. So saying in this point they're still expecting to have two. Oh yeah, we are supposed to have two there in there. Oh no, it's supposed to be one because we're looking at sections. So that was the problem there. And once that runs, we should be clear. Free and clear. There we go. And there we go. So now we have 64 tests all together, and we have this test suite pretty much done, right? Again, I remember most of these places I had to remove these 404s, because if the ID didn't exist, then it just didn't exist, so we didn't delete that project. We're not really losing anything with that, so there's no point in wasting processing space. And obviously, as you guys saw, that it didn't hit, because even once we run this, even if it's wrong, even if the IDs are incorrect, not to say incorrect, but the IDs don't exist, it's not going to throw an error. It's just going to be, this project is going to be empty. The only way I think this would throw an error is if the IDs we passed in were like numbers, and then we get that 500. And again, that's more so testing the Mongo's kind of setup rather than testing my own code, which is why I didn't bother to test that. I mean, I guess you can say it's testing my code by, make sure I get the 500 error. Again, I'll probably add that in later. But right now, since I'm kind of just doing the free run, I'm leaving some room for error here. I'm leaving some margin for error just because I don't want to code too tight, and then when I try to add new things in, it's more difficult. So that's that, and that wraps up this project test suite. So now let's go into our final test suite, which is going to be the subscriber. And I'm hoping we can get this one done today, because now that we've kind of been through the gauntlet here, we already know what we're going to do. And the easiest way I can think of doing this is to copy the user router completely. And the reason why I say we're going to copy this is because all of the tests in here are literally going to be more or less the same from what we're doing now. Well, for what we're going to do, but I'll set it up from scratch just to I don't really have a reason for it. So let's go here and do subscriber equals require require dot slash dot slash. I thought that would have got me to the right place. Maybe it's dot slash. Oh, come on. Alright, so require string dot slash dot slash. There we go. And then we want models slash subscriber. So with our subscriber thing going on here, we do hit an interesting point in our mock because we have this SendGrid stuff. I saw somewhere else that we had it running, so I'm not sure why. Wait, something just failed. What the hell? I don't even know where that came from. Your test suite must contain at least one. Okay, this is the new test. I'm sorry, I forgot that quick. So now we have const. We're going to get our actually, I'm just going to copy this from somewhere else. I really don't feel like typing all of that in. Yes, developers are very, very lazy people. And I'm just going to change this. Subscriber. Subscriber. Change this to subscriber. And I don't know what it is, but I have to sound out a lot more stuff than I thought I would have had to. I'll tell you a funny story. When I went over to China, I almost forgot. I got into a point where I was used English so little at my last few months there that I almost forgot how to speak English. Not like literally forgot, but just like little kind of phrases that you use all the time. I was just like, nope, I ain't got it. I was like, I cannot. I was like, I don't know. Like little phrases that I used to use. So, in a sense, when I got back, I was like, how the fuck do I talk? Like, so, yeah, that's my maybe not so interesting story. It was interesting in my head at least. So, actually, I don't really need to create any subscribers here because we don't need to use them for anything. When we look at our subscriber router, it's pretty simple, right? It's same as all the other routers, but in here we don't really have a lot of information going in. We're either going to create a subscriber, and one thing I didn't think about was doing that to see if the subscriber already existed, because I really haven't seen anything with that. Like when you sign up for emails or anything like that, it usually wouldn't work. I could throw something in here to say before we send out that confirmation email, we could always check to see if the subscriber existed and just throw an error if it did. I just really don't see any. I'm not gonna say I don't see any benefit in that. Actually, it probably would help to do that because then we'll have a duplicate. But I think where is it? Let me check the oh, it should be this one right here. So if it doesn't exist anymore, we throw an error, and then otherwise we I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so we do a 2-in-1 to create it. So it's kind of broken between these two. What we can do is before we send the email, we can do something, or in the confirmation email, what we could really do is, since because we don't have an ID, and that's the part I forgot. with the confirmation email, right, we send all of this stuff out. We can also go through there and just link that back to our router by saying, hey, if like we look up the user over in the confirmation before we send the confirmation, either before or during or whatever, when we send the confirmation email, when you click on it again, you might say, hey, you're already subscribed. If you want to protect that user from, at this point, somebody's put somebody fake email in, it doesn't really matter. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, this subscriber, I don't know if that subscriber would have an ID. I wonder actually. So what I want to do is I'm just gonna hit console.log just because I'm curious now. Subscriber dot underscore ID. I think once we hit new subscriber, that should automatically create the ID for us. But I don't know, so I'm just gonna test. And then let's just go ahead and get this thing started. I want to be really lazy, and I want to copy from user. If I'm being very honest. Reason being is, I mean, you guys saw this whole process as of now. I've done it 3 times now, and now that we're back to pretty much doing the same thing over and over again, I'm just going to make this very easy on you guys and myself. And this is also going to be a very good use of our time. And we're not going to need any of this. So everywhere there is a authorization, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out. Actually, I lied. We don't need it in any of our, we don't need to set it up, but everywhere else needs it. So I'm going to leave that all there. And then the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, everywhere there's a .send, so I'm just going to do .send and grab anything in between there. And I just thought about it, doesn't really matter. Let me grab that, delete it, and this just helps me move a little faster. Actually, I can leave that one, and I can leave these. I can, what's this, logging in. Actually, we don't have to worry about this one. We don't have to worry about this one either, or this one. We have a, yeah, we don't have to worry about that either. We don't have like a, oh, we do have a get all subscribers. Oh wait, did I delete? Okay, I'm in the right place. Send log out. This is another router I don't need. Wait, that's interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna leave those and I'll work through them one by one. And in order to do that properly, I'm gonna comment everything else out, and just start with this one right here, should create. And then I'm gonna say everywhere there's an admin, we're gonna change that to subscribers. Admin, change that to subscribers. Replace all of those, and then next we're going to go to user, and we're going to do the same thing, except we want to be very careful with our type, and we're going to use subscriber, replace all of those, and then one last thing, we're going to do capital user, and then use capital subscriber, and then replace all of those. So now when we run this, actually I don't want to run it just yet. I want to split this to the right, and I want to just have a better eye on what's going on here, and close these. So right now our subscriber does a few things. One of those things is that it actually has a timeout after 3 days. I can test that, but I really don't know how, so to say. We can create a token that maybe expires after some time, but you know, that doesn't really help me. So I could probably try to manipulate it from within my test to change the way the index is set on that. For instance, if we go to the subscriber model, there probably is a way we could modify the indexing here. So instead of 3 days, we can probably make it like 2 seconds and then just wait the 2 seconds. Or just probably do it like, do like 0 seconds or something, so that way it's like always invalid or something, but it'd probably still take like a minute because of the Mongo setup. So I'm not gonna stress that too much in these tests, at least not right now. When I get closer to pushing for production, I might fine tune that, but that's where we are now. So back to this first router here. First thing I need to do is I can actually take out a lot of this stuff, right? First thing I want to do is just to make sure that we can add a subscriber. So I'm just going to do name, and I'll say Will, and then I'll do email is going to be Will at example.com, and I didn't do my comma. So this is going to put that user in. We pretty much mocked this whole thing here. Excuse me. So we'll go down in here. However, now that I'm here in this mock, I need to make sure that I grab this link here. So yeah, I'm gonna grab this link, this URL, because I need to do something else. This is how our user gets set up. So if I mean not our user, our subscriber gets added to the database. So if I don't do this, it's not going to work. So I'm going to go down into the fixtures and look for mail.js, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up a bit, and you'll see in a second how I'm going to do it. I'm going to just take a quick nope, wrong place. I want to take a quick look at how we did this. I think this is actually, no, it's in the middleware, and no, not middleware, it should be in emails. So in emails, when we do our send, I'm going to make sure that we still take the email and the token, and the reason being is we're going to use that down in here. So I need this to stay open. So we're going to take the, wait, where's the confirmation email? So did I miss that part when I did the mock? Probably so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this send be the part that takes the name and the email. So let's go back and look at that. I thought I kept that thing open. Jeez. So now let me go and grab this emails. There we go. So here, send doesn't take any parameters. It all goes through confirmation email. So I'm also going to try to actually I don't know how I'm going to mock that. I'm just going to say send is going to so it already has access to the email on the token. So what I'm going to try to do is I didn't think about this part, because if I mock the confirmation email altogether, that should help me out. So I shouldn't have to do it in the mocks. Trying to think, if I go in here, right, and I go to new folder and do a mock for this, and I think the folder is going to have to be, I don't know how low this goes, right? So should it be and actually in here, should this be new folder, and this folder be subscriber? And then should this part here, new file, be subscriber? Oh, no, no, no. This should be email. If I'm following this correctly, email. And then, or emails, right? Plural. And then if I do new file, subscriber.js, I could literally copy this whole thing, paste this in here, and then what I'm going to do is, instead of having this whole thing, I'm just going to use require in here. So I'm going to use and not we're going to use this super test. And now what we can do is we can do await, and so I need to make this asynchronous now. So I'm not sure if this is going to work. This is just kind of a hunch. Await, and then we're going to do require, request, I'm sorry, request, and then we're also going to need app in here. So let's go ahead and import that. Const app equals require, and then we can just throw in and grab our app. Right, so now we've got that, and then we have confirmation email, async. So now the only thing we're going to do here is we're going to do .get, and then when we do .get, we're going to pass it all of this. And I believe the way this works is we can just do our special slashes there, and now we're hitting that other endpoint that we need to hit, and that's really all we had to do. And then we can just go ahead and close that. And actually, I think we need to do this for real. So let me not do this. Let me do that's what I'm trying to do. I want to do how does this really look? So let me open subscriber router. So router.get. So let me just go ahead and grab this. Equals require express, and then on the end of that I can just do .router like that. So then it should be router .get. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I had that right when I did super test because we are testing. And not app like this. It should be // or // nope, // app. Yep. So then here, don't have to worry about the email at all. Just take that token, and we just need to send this get off. And this will be .get. And then what we're going to do is we're going to save that as a constant and return it. So actually, no, we don't even have to do that. We can just hit it, and that should wrap up what we need. Again, this is a huge guess. There we go. And then we'll do module.exports equals confirmation email, right? So let's see if this works. And how can I test this? Let's go ahead and just comment out the rest of these tests. And then count subscribers equals weight, subscribers got follow ID. And we don't need to check that. We need to actually go ahead and look up that subscriber and just make sure that it exists. So I'm going to try something like that, not to be null, that actually works. So let's do that. And in this case, it's going to be subscriber. And let's see if we have good fortune. And actually, I forgot to save a few other things. And since we saved before it kicked off, we should be good to go. And this test might fail because we don't know how to hit that endpoint specifically. Can't find module app from. Okay, so that's a good thing. Oh wait, where's this subscriber dot test? Oh, I see. Yeah. Dot slash app. Control S on that. And if this works, that everything else would be a lot easier to do. So, ooh, that was really mad. So now it's saying can't find subscriber from. Oh wow, it's like almost. I think I needed to get another layer up in there. Let's try it now. And CLS. I got some pop-ups on there, so I think it worked. And I'm sitting on something. Ouch. Right, so we're getting some kind of. Wait, all of those passed. Oh, cool. Look at that. And we console logged. I forgot what I console logged. Oh, so we do have an ID before we go to where we are. So, okay, cool. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take that out. Now we have a mock that works. And we can also, we can always play with this. We can just, I was going to say delete it, but I'd rather just leave it there. We got something that works, let's leave it, not mess with it. As you guys see, you start to mess with it, you start to get behaviors that you don't want. And here should not allow duplicate subscribers. We don't actually have that implemented in our router, and we can handle that by actually going onto the model and just saying that the email, oh no, the email is unique, so we're good. So what I'm gonna have to do is go onto another router and grab that 409 setup that I got going on here. So that tells us we're doing a duplicate thing. Oops. If I drop that, we're good. And then I need to put that somewhere else. Okay, yeah, we're good. Boom. And I don't think I created an unsubscribe. Oh, I have this called subscribers. I should probably call this subscribers / unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Just to make it a little bit more interesting. So we get that ID. I didn't even notice I can probably leave it like that, but I'm just gonna do / like that. So subscribers says unsubscribe ID, right? So now we got a specific endpoint set up for deleting stuff, just like how we have it for confirming. So now actually for this one we might want to put somebody in the database, and as you can see we're gonna want to let's do await new subscriber. And the reason why we're doing this again is because we want to test this router eventually. And in order to have that, we gotta do this. And I can probably do it in that actual test, so I'm not gonna do it right now. Let's see. So this one's good, so I'm gonna knock that one out. Duplicate subscribers should be handled now. So let's check to see how we did here. Matches equals await subscriber. Wait, what's this? Oh, I see. And here we're trying to make sure oh yes, I do have to put a subscriber in here in order to test that. So we do await new subscriber, and then I'm just gonna do it directly. I'm gonna say name Tim, email is gonna be Tim blah blah blah. Wait. Tim at example.com, and then I need to do .save, and I need to get an ID on there, so I'm gonna create the ID directly in here. Yeah, I don't feel like to do ID. I'm gonna do new mongoose .types .object ID, and I probably will go ahead and create a function for that. But for the time being, I'll leave it like that. So then what I need to do is I need to actually say const subscriber 1 ID equals. Reason being, I might want to refer to the ID directly, and if I don't have it stored in the variable, I won't know what it is. So here you're saying .send subscriber 1. Actually, it's probably easier if I just go change this to be the agony to be consistent. So we do const subscriber 1 equals all that, and then here we got our subscriber 1 there, and now I'm going to control subscriber 1 ID. Alright, cool. So and then now I can go here and F2 and just change that to subscriber 1. Shit. I like consistency, that's why I do it. It's just, if I got subscriber 1 here with the number 1, it needs to be the same way everywhere else. So here we're gonna do wait, and this time we're gonna do oh, I need that. Yep, subscriber 1 dot email. Right. Wait, no, what is this? We're expecting a 409 because it already exists. And if we get a 409, oh, I see. We're just making sure that the number of hits match that. Cool. So I think it's good. Next task is should not create subscribers that is missing. Subscriber that is missing a required field. So what I'm going to do is pull the name out here, and that should give a 400. And then same thing's happening here. Expecting 0, and should not create a subscriber with invalid email. Let me get a 400 here as well, and cool. So let's just go ahead and run that. And if I'm wrong anywhere in here, these tests will expose me. So somewhere failed, and it seems like subscriber 1 is not defined. Should not allow duplicate subscribers. Oh, I forgot. And we're passing. So far, so good. There we go. 68 passed. And next we need to actually get all the errors in here. Yeah, we've got most of them. Well, all of them, I believe. Yeah, we got the 400s, and I just want to put my 409 with the rest of the 400 groups. I think if I do Control X, alright. And 409 is less than, well, more than 400, so that goes there. And now let's get the next group. So here we got subscriber by ID. So now in this particular case, if we use actually I need to hit a F2 on this one as well. Won't let me, so I'll just do a Control F, and everywhere there's subscriber 1 ID, and I'm gonna actually make this easy on myself. Anywhere I see subscriber 1, we're just gonna do a subscriber 1. There we go. Oh shit. Actually I don't need, actually I do need this authentication, so I'll do this, and I'll add another dot behind it, and I'll do dot tokens, right? So now I know specifically this one, and then this will go back to user. Make it tricky. So I'll do this, Control C and Control V, and this will be user 1, and I'll replace these 1 by 1. So I'm gonna do yep, 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 that one, and that one. Okay, cool. So I thought I was a little off, but now I need to make sure I import that as well. So I need to do const import, well, not import, const user 1 equals require, and then I have to import the setup file. Dot dot. There we go. Oh, I see. This subscribers is in the wrong place. So when I do that, some of these references are going to be screwed up. Shouldn't have to go as deep. Here, yep, there we go. Okay, cool. It automatically fixed itself. And just to make sure I do dot dot slash. Yep, app's good. So I forgot I got it. I have Visual Studio Code to automatically fix my imports when I change my if I move a folder. So over here in the get, we have get slash subscribers. We don't have to use the slash ID thing, so that's already gonna remove a bunch of these. And now we can put this back. Actually, I'm gonna make things easy. Not really a way I can make this easy, so I'm just gonna pull it out and and just try to do this as fast as possible. And what I'm doing, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Here, I'm just gonna grab all that, Control V, and grab all this, Control V, Shift, there we go, Control V, and okay, cool, I think I got them all. So here in the get, we just gotta make sure we get our 200, 404, and 500. And this is going to deliver all the subscribers. I didn't add any filtering and stuff on it just yet. I'll probably add that later when I actually start to create my dashboard for it. Reason being, I feel like once I start creating the dashboard stuff in the front end, I may want to change the structure for it, so I'll have one place where I can play around with that and manipulate it if need be. So here we go. So get, we're authorized, we're getting that, we're getting our 200. We're expecting to find our subscriber by the ID with the same email. Oh, I see. So we're using the response to look it up in the database to make sure that it exists, and then we're making sure that the email matches. In this particular case, since we're actually this won't work, so we're just expecting that we shouldn't be finding by ID. We should just do a find, and we just want to make sure that the number of results match the number of subscribers that we have in the database, which is 1. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. Equal to 1. I'm going to say subscribers dot length dot to equal actually dot to be 1, and then same thing here, should throw an error if the ID is invalid. In this particular case, we're not sending in any ID, so we are good here. And same as before, I'm going to pull out this if no subscribers, because it's just going to give you nothing. Shouldn't return a 404 here, so we're going to pull that out. For getting them, we do need authorization, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And here we're not sending out any body, so we're just going to check that. And we can test to see if the response is null, but you know, you guys get the gist of this stuff now. If the ID is invalid, we're not passing in any IDs here. So I can't really find a way for this to throw an error, so I'm just gonna knock that out, and you see all those tests just kind of get knocked down to 2. So if we run this now, actually I probably should have saved it everywhere. Shoot. Right, and we actually have a problem here. So expected at 200. Okay, we got a 401. Which test is that? Should get subscribers by ID. We should just say should get all subscribers. Should fetch all subscribers. Should fetch all subscribers. There we go. So we're getting the subscribers going in there, and I just checked. I wanted to do a quick sound check. I probably picked the last second to do this. I've already been streaming for 90 minutes, but something's telling me to do a sound check. Nope, I think we're good. We're still good there. Okay, so should fetch all subscribers. Response, we got that. They're saying we got a 401, but we're expecting 200. This user 1 token should be good to go. So I'm actually pretty confused here. So we get the subscribers and we send it off. We did git slash subscribers. Not seeing anything particularly wrong here. We're waiting the lookup here, and we do our set there. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything particularly wrong, so I'm just gonna run that one more time just to make sure, well, just to see what happens really. Get a double take really. So anyways, we want a double take. Because why are we getting a 401 when our bearer token is correct? So let's take a look at this. User 1, we imported user 1 from our setup. Let's actually go ahead and make sure we got this imported correctly. Dot slash, yep, setup is good. So for some reason, I feel like it's gonna be something stupid. So we did our get and we set the authorization, and then we're expecting our 200. Yeah, we're getting a 401. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to check our auth router. That's the only way we can get a 401 auth. And what that is we're catching. So we threw an error here if the user doesn't exist. So here we're oh, I know why. So we never created our users in here, so that was never that's why it didn't work. We didn't set up users in here, so we got to do setup user DB, and boom, there we go. I know in a lot of other places, one thing I probably didn't do was delete the users from here, but I think we're good because all the other tests do that before they run. So not clearing it out after this one is fine. For now, at least. So there we go. Yeah, see. The users wasn't existing. So now we've got that router working. And if we're working linearly, then we now have to go down in here and test this router, which looks like a pain in the ass, but it's really not that bad. And I'll take advantage of this router here to do that. And I'm actually going to delete all the content for the tests, except for the first one, of course. Just so I don't have to do all that typing again. So what we're going to do here is, this is the one where we're testing our it's kind of weird, right? Because by default we're already testing this by using other stuff, but I just want to be a little bit more explicit by exposing potential things that can go wrong and just catching that and working it here, as opposed to somebody changing something with the way this is working and we're not aware, and you don't have a test to prove that something broke. So we're going to go ahead and work on this. So in order to do this, I need to change the way that we're doing our get for this thing, and we're going to put that in here. And when we do our token, this is the one thing that we actually haven't worked on before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our setup, if I can find it, tests, mock, setup, here we go. And in this setup, we have functions creating these JSON tokens. So only thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, I might just go above it and I might say, hey, const create JSON token, JSON token, create token, right? Create token equals, that doesn't actually help. So what I'm going to do is I'll just export that tokens. So I'll say in the exports, I'll do user one dot tokens then s, and we're gonna grab the first one, and then we're gonna grab that dot token to get that token from there. So, oh, since we have user one, we can actually just grab it from user one. I didn't think of that. So here we can just say, actually we need it from our subscriber. So what we can do is we can say this one's interesting because it's a get, and we're just trying to get that token to put the user in the database. So I have two options. I can start with like I want to create a new subscriber altogether. Problem being is, oh, we create the token right here. So if I do this here, right, grab this, and if I paste this in just before we run our test, not just before running the test, but right in here, to have a new user in here, new subscriber, I can take this token, pass it into this. Actually, no, this doesn't work. So I'm trying to think of a way to directly test this, and I actually can't, because in order for this to work, I have to create a user, put them into the database, and then call this endpoint for that same person. So I guess I can do it like this, right? And this will actually save it. So yeah, I think I can run it like that. And then what will happen is when I call this endpoint, I'll actually use the token we got from here. So we'll use this token, and what we'll have to do is we'll have to expect I think this should be a 201. No, this should be, okay, we're getting 200. Shit, this is very confusing. Yeah, we're gonna get 200 because we're not creating it, we're just allowing it to save to the database. It's like an update, kind of. Actually, it's like an update. So when we do this, we'll say, okay, we're gonna expect a 200, but now we want to make sure that that user exists in the database. So we can say when we do const sub, I'm getting lazy, subscriber equals await subscriber dot find, in this case I'll do find by ID, and since I have access to the subscriber, I can just do dot underscore ID to get that specific subscriber. And then only thing we're going to do is we're going to expect subscriber dot not dot to be null, right? We're going to expect it not to be null. And I don't think I need to save the response, so I think I can just do that. Oh, cool. So one thing I didn't think about was in here when I have the subscriber, it's not actually confirmed, but that's actually kind of cool though, because it lets me test out these other parts of the router. So that's fine, right? Because it actually did play its part here, so we're good. So let me save this and see if that does what I'm expecting it to do. Seems like we already got an issue. Oh no, that's a null error, seems. Or maybe not. Subscriber has already been declared. Oh, I see. It's already been declared. So let's say active. I'll say active subscriber. Or should I say confirmed? Yeah, confirmed. Confirmed subscriber. So far so good though. It seems like we did get the 200 response that we're looking for. Let me just make sure that's not null. So, alright, Q is not defined. Oh, I see. Wait, where's this at? Oh, here. Let me get this a name and an email. I'm gonna say, just to be very easy, we're just gonna do test, right? I would say name is gonna be test, and then the email is gonna be test@example.com. And voila, now we are good. So we're able to test that endpoint now, and this should be and then another thing that we can actually do is we can say expect confirmed subscriber dot what fields that confirmed, right? Confirmed dot to be truthy. It's like, hey, whatever subscriber, when that subscriber sends this request, it should be, the confirmed property should be set to true. Next test is going to be, I probably should have used this subscriber here if I was smart. But actually I wouldn't have been able to do this because of some, now that I think about it, I wouldn't be able to test this specific subscriber here, subscriber 1, because it doesn't have any tokens. So I would have to create a token on this user. So let's actually go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to grab this whole thing. Oh, too much. So if I grab this entire line, I can put that on our subscriber. And I can just go here, say, actually there's a few things I didn't add on this subscriber. And let me go into the subscriber model. Reason being is I didn't add confirmed. I need to say confirmed is false. And then I need to say the created that's done by automatically. But I need to create this token on here. And when I create the token, I'm just going to do that. But I need to import JWT in order to do this. Boom. And I believe that is all. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I needed. So now I should go and say, so this was me creating one. So now that I have this, I don't even have to do this anymore. I can just go ahead and use subscriber 1. Right? And then what I'll do here is this will be subscriber 1 dot token. And then here this will be subscriber 1 dot underscore ID. And then here I can just make this actually I don't even have to, what do I do? Actually I do need to do this, and all that should still be the same. So now I did 2 birds and 1 stone, I believe, because I already made sure that I can take a subscriber and just run through. the gauntlet of stuff. So now I don't have to test the separate thing like, oh, if it's a subscriber from saved, whatever. I lost my train of thought on that, to be honest. Um, and I do need to create another subscriber because this other subscriber is going to already be confirmed in our database. And we need to have a way to allow that subscriber to be what's the word I'm looking for? To give us our 409 for this part. So I'm gonna jump down to a new line, and actually, I don't like how that's running off. There's a way you can have Visual Studio Code automatically jump to new lines after a certain point. This one's already doing it, so I'll leave it alone for now, and I'll just mess around with the config stuff a little later. I don't know what just happened. I think I'm missing the closing. Yep. So here this is going to be 2, and I should make this a 2. I think we're good there. Same problems happening. Boom. And I don't see any red. Let me get rid of that dot there. And we're good. So now what I need to do is we test it to make sure that we can have a confirmed status. So now we should say should not should not modify sub that's what I'm looking for. Should not confirm, right? That's what we do. Should not confirm if subscriber. Actually, I really wanted to get to the point where like if we try to run this router, go to this route, it should be something like, oh, you're already subscribed. That's really what I want to happen. But I'll save that for another time because that's a little bit more not complex, but it's just different than what the goal is here. That's more like rendering something to say, hey, this is dead. So let's go ahead and move on with this. So here we already got this. There's a way we can do this if the subscriber doesn't exist. So that's something that we can do here. So we're going to do should not confirm if subscriber already confirmed. And this actually sounds like a bogus thing to do. And actually I want to put this up higher. That's really what I want to happen. I want to save my processing. So I'm going to go, hey, if, oh, I see. That's why we didn't do it. So I can actually move this up, but I don't have the token or anything. Actually, no, we have the token here. Okay, so I'm kind of in the right spot here. Alright, so fine. The order's right. So should not confirm if subscribers already confirmed. It's like it's not hurting anything, but I don't want to waste this part here. Actually, I wish there was something I could just do with that token, right? Possibly expiring the token. I don't know if that'll do anything. We can try to send in an expired token and see what happens. So I'm just going to change this to 0. And then I'll put seconds, not days. And when we go here, should not confirm subscriber if token expired. Right, so let's try that. And we'll go and do our async. We'll do our usual, and I'm just gonna steal this for well, I'm gonna steal all of this. Control V. Think we're supposed to get a 409 here, I believe. 409, and then this is gonna be the 2 and a 2, and what else are we looking for? So we make sure that tokens expired. We set the authorization. We set the confirm user, so we're looking this user up in the database, see what's going on there, and we want to make sure that the confirmed is, well, we don't need to check anything here if we get that 409. Actually, we just want to make sure we get the 409. We already know everything else about the user. So let's try that out. Seemed like that already failed. Ah, I see. I thought I changed this, but I didn't. Oops, too far. So I'm gonna go a little bit over tonight, just because I want to wrap these tests up, and it seems like I'm just one more suite away, and you guys know it takes no time to do those delete routers. What's it saying here? It's saying something about importing a file after we're done. So I'm actually gonna run this again because it's when I saved while it was still running the test, so the data may have been outdated. Oh shit. Await new subscriber, subscriber 2 dot save. That was an issue there. Still an error, and a pretty big one actually. I don't really follow this one. Let's see. User 2 ID. Where do I have user 2 ID at? Control F and do user 2. I see. So with this one, actually, I should be using subscriber 1 ID. That's how these things should be set up. And this should be 2. So now, so the whole issue the whole time was that the user, I changed the payload on the JWT token. So it was like, hey, you said user 2, this thing doesn't even exist, so I just had to fix that. And ooh, different kind of thing. Alright, different errors. So I think what's happening here is that, oh, it's showing duplicates. So actually I thought that I already had something to fix those duplicates here to catch it. Yeah, I actually have been catching those. So it must be should create new subscribers. So I'm certain here that oh, okay, so the database is empty. So you're 409. Duplicate key, Tim. Oh, right from the start. I gotta pay more attention here. So, you gotta pay attention when you're doing all this copy and pasting, I tell you. So now we're getting some better issues. So here it's expecting the number of subscribers to be 1, but we changed it so now it should be 2. Should now allow duplicate subscribers. Okay, cool. And what's the other problem here? Expected 409 conflict, but got a 500. And which one is this? Should not confirm if token expired. So that's the last test that we wrote. Okay, so it's still accepting that token. I see. So we said, what are we trying to do here? What I'm going to do for the first one is put the confirm false here, and I need to make this true. That's why we didn't get it. Yeah, I think there's a way I can set up my terminal to just run the one test that we want. What's going on here? Probably against something with numbers. Should now duplicate subscribers. So now once we did the thing with duplicates, so here we're still getting a 500, even though the let me refresh this. Alright. Get subscribers confirmation token. Should not confirm if token expired. So we got an internal server error. Only way we can get that is got the authorization. We're expecting our 409. We're not sending any data with that, and we use subscriber to token, right? Subscriber to dot token. So I'm thinking that the token being expired jumps it right to a 500. Only way I can test this out is to do this. And I'm just gonna put 10 seconds on that. And if that works, then we know what's going on there. Alright, that's not the case. So I'm just gonna go back and put the token back to be valid for a full day. And actually I'm gonna do I'm gonna say 30 minutes. Just because as you guys learned before, that if we create 2 tokens at the same exact time, it's pretty much the same exact token. Oh wait, the payloads are different, so that actually isn't true. 30 minutes isn't gonna hurt. The code's not running that long anyway. Still 2 failing tests. Let me execute that again manually to figure out why. So still saying it's expecting there to be 2 users in here. I mean 2 subscribers, but for some reason there's still only 1. Right, so here they're failing because of, again, what's being received. I see. Be 2. I thought I changed that. and then another one is expecting 2 but getting 1. So now should not allow duplicate subscribers. Should not allow duplicate subscribers. I see. Wait, what am I doing here? On this post, I'm trying to send out subscriber 1 again. And I'm looking up. Oh, I see. Yeah. This should be 1, not 2. Sorry about that. So, what happened was I said that I shouldn't have any duplicates here. Wait, no. Where is it? I said that I shouldn't have any duplicate subscribers. And why does the second S always show up there? But when I went down to look up my subscriber in the database, I was like, oh yeah, it should still be 2. So I didn't fix that part. So that's why it kept failing. So what else that needs to go in here? So we've actually gotten the 200. We're getting the 409 now. The only other error that we need to get is this 500. Can't really think of a way to get the 500. I guess another quick test that we can get right now is to get that 404 to say that the subscriber doesn't exist. So and the way we can do that is we can just create a JSON token right here on the fly, and I'm actually going to just grab the where is it? Here we go. Come on, man. Jeez. Okay, so this is not liking me at all. So and actually the token isn't even expired here. So I wonder if I could just go up here and just change the token to be like 0 seconds. If that still influences the outcome. Because essentially, I mean, the token still exists. It's just when you go to verify it, it just decodes it. Oh, we get errors now. Oh, yeah, so it does give us a 500 there. We're expecting 409, we get 500. That's exactly what we want to happen. So I just gotta make sure I fix whatever it is. Which one is this? Should not confirm if token is expired. Should throw error if token is expired. And up here, it's doing the same thing. Here, I guess it should be should not confirm if already if subscriber. I guess they say should throw error if subscriber already confirmed. Really, I'm thinking about this. If I try to subscribe for something that I'm already subscribed to, let's see, HTTP response if already subscribed. Yeah, I'll leave it as it is now because it's like technically you're trying to not create that user again, but you're trying to modify something that shouldn't. I guess I can just return a 400, right? It's like a bad request. in this, I'll leave it as a 409. I just can't think of anything better to do. So here is where we're going to expect that 500 error, and I wanted to have this user be the user that is already confirmed, so we can get that 409. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create another subscriber, because I need to have different portfolios, right? I need to have not portfolios, but I need different requirements. So in order to test these different things, I gotta make different users, well, subscribers. I keep saying users. And this will be subscriber 3 ID, and then I need to modify this to be 3, and then I would say Tim, right? And then over here, let's modify this so that way the JSON tokens are not similar. And the only thing I'm gonna do is leave that 0 seconds, and I'll put this back at 1 day. That's 30, say 45 seconds. Doesn't really matter. I'll make it 30 minutes, just because the test may take a little longer now that we have more stuff in here. So I don't want it to potentially, like, it's not gonna run for 30 minutes, but it might take like 20 seconds. So I'm gonna give myself some leverage. So here, that user, so this should actually work now, hopefully. So we should get 409, then 500 if we're lucky. And then the only thing left to get here will be that 404. And cool, we're all passed. So now let's go ahead and get that 404, and then we can wrap this up and do our delete method. So to do this, we're gonna pass in this same endpoint as before, except we're gonna make it be a let's see, this token isn't gonna match anything. That's what's gonna happen. So let's grab this, and we're gonna say should throw error if token, if token, right, it should be token does not exist. And then we're gonna start our async function callback, and then we're just gonna do await request app dot get, and we're gonna do I don't know why I didn't control V yet. I think this is why. And instead of this, we're just gonna pull all this out, and let me fix these. Cool. So now what I need to do is go up and grab all of this. I think I need this part too. And then I'm going to go down to our function here, and right inside of this thing, we're going to pass in that function. And instead of doing all of this, we're just going to, we can create our own ID now. Actually, no, we need that. So I'm just going to do new mongoose dot types dot object ID, and do it like that. And now we have something worth failing. And then we need to make sure we get this 404. And what else? I believe that is all. So if we save this, and I think I screwed something up with the way I put that web token in. Wait, why is that empty? I might have put that in the wrong spot. Test should throw error if token does not exist. Yep, I definitely put that in the wrong spot. Thought something was a little off. Cool. And then if I put it there where it belongs, I think we're good. Shoot. And let's see the results here. Oh, cool. All passed. So now we've got all those going. We've made sure that if the subscriber that we have isn't confirmed, we make sure that this router confirms them. And then we also go in here on the next one and we say, hey, if the user doesn't exist, we're going to throw an error. And we get that. So actually I didn't put any expectations on that. So we should go, I'm going to go down to the next line, dot expect, and I'm going to say 200. Actually, no, it's a 404 is what we're expecting. And then over here, we're expecting that if the subscriber is already confirmed, we get a 409. And then if the token is expired, we're going to get a 500 error. So that is very verbose. We're getting all of the expectations that we're looking for, and we actually didn't have to change anything. So this is one of the routers that we were playing around with that we didn't have to do a lot of changes to. And okay, wait, where's, so we're saying expected 404 not found, but we got a 500. I wonder why that was. Oh, we used subscriber 3. We need to use we need a subscriber that already, wait, no. Should throw error if token does not exist. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to make this 20 seconds. And I'm going to change this to be the new mongoose dot types dot object ID. That was the part I forgot. So now we have to create an ID that doesn't exist in the database, and then when you have that, that should give us that 404 that we're looking for. There we go. So now we're like, oh, okay, what the hell is this? And that's all from just passing in the token. So this is very, very powerful stuff that we got going on here. I kind of want to say that we probably could have used an ID too, but I like using the tokens because we can put expirations on the tokens, right? And that's what we do. Ooh, I don't think we actually do anything to make the token expire. Oh, there it is right there. So we say the token expires in 2 days. I guess in this case we should make it 3 so it matches with the test. Well, it matches this down here. So it's like, hey, if you don't do it in 3 days, even if you have the link in your email, you're gonna get an error because it'll no longer be valid. And then over in our database, it's like, all right, you're whacked. So we're all good there. What else do we need to do? I think that's it for that router. And now for the final piece, I didn't think to add any patching in there, because if you want to change your email, you probably just resubscribe with your new email and then unsubscribe the old one. At least that's how I'm doing. That's how you're gonna have to do it now. That can always change depending on how things are going. But also, probably one of the main reasons I didn't do it, because I didn't create any kind of interface for users to change their emails. So that'll probably be something I'll add in like another version when I want to make my website more subscriber interactive. So maybe like when you subscribe, you kind of like create like a little login, and you'd have the option of using like your Facebook to do your comments and likes, or you can log in. So that's kind of one of the things that I'll be doing probably in a later release. So now on this last part, we're creating a link for unsubscribing, And the only thing we really have to do here is, in this particular case, we're unsubscribing individual users, because I mean, I keep saying users, individual subscribers, because you know that's more than likely that's going to be done. Somebody's going to be in their email, they're going to unsubscribe, and this is going to be the link to do so. So I'll probably also have to make sure I modify the unsubscribe email to allow this, because as of right now it doesn't have anything going on with unsubscribing. So that's also stuff that I'm gonna probably do in a later release before I get to production, just to make sure everything is working exactly how I want it to. But I'm not gonna waste time doing. I'm not gonna say waste time, but I'm not gonna take the time to do it just yet, because in terms of visuals, I like to take my time with those, so I want to save that stuff for the end. Let's see. So here we have this ID that we have to put in here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is gonna be subscriber 1. So let's use subscriber 1 ID. Alright, and we don't even have to send anything off, and we can expect actually there is no 401. The only error I can think of is that this ID doesn't exist, and then that'll give us a 500. Actually, there's a few things to go here. There's a 44 if the ID doesn't exist, and then there's the 500 if you put in the wrong ID type. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back up to the top, and this should just be user. So you don't need any authorization for this, and in here again we're not sending anything off, so we can get rid of that. And here you're going to expect a 200 if the ID is valid, and let's go ahead and grab a valid ID. And wait, I just thought about something. I never added subscriber 3 to the database. I don't think I had to, now that I think about it. Why? Because when I created subscriber 3, I just wanted to have an expired token. But now I'm starting to think that it's probably just because the token is invalid. Only way to find out is to actually add them. New subscriber, subscriber 3 dot save. And I'm gonna wait until I finish these tests down here before I run that. Reason being, if it breaks, then I can just fix it and be done. Actually, I might as well do it now while I'm actually still typing. So here we have our subscribers, and we're making sure that actually what I want to do is I want to do find by ID. Reason being is we're going to look up subscriber 1, and we want this to be null. So I can take out this object thing, and we're going to say, okay, yeah, so 3 tests are failing, probably because of what's going on here. Actually, no, it seems like something else going on, so I'll look at that later. Oh, probably these 2 tests. So let's see. So we got subscriber 1 ID. So now we're expecting subscriber 1, and we're gonna say expect subscriber dot to be null. That's what we want. Dot to be null. And in this particular case, it might be undefined, but depending on how it's using equals, this should be good enough. And then same thing over down here. Actually, it shouldn't be authorized. It should be if subscriber doesn't exist. Does not exist. And all we're going to do is we're going to grab everything that's in here. And the only thing we're going to do is we're going to use that new mongoose ID for that. I'm going to say new mongoose dot types dot object ID. And that's how we're going to get a valid ID. and we don't need to check this at all, because it's not going to create anything for us. And then we're going to make sure we get a 404, and that's all we have to do there. And then the last thing we're going to do is just create just give them an invalid ID. So we should say if ID is invalid, and instead of doing all of this, we're going to remove all of that, and we're going to say number, just like we did before. And we're going to grab this part here, and we should be getting a 500. So if I save this, we should still have that one failing test. Yep, there we go. So now we have that one test that's failing, and it's because we didn't change the number from 2 to 3, because now we have 3 users in our database instead of, subscribers. There we go. I keep saying users instead of subscribers. I'm don't know why. So now this actually wraps up all of the tests that we wanted to have. So now so we have 4 test suites. So we have and we had 4 routers. So all of these routers are done, like they're good to go. So now what I'm going to be looking into over this weekend is trying to figure out how we can deploy the website to AWS, and that'll help me a lot, because initially when I'm creating the front end, I'm going to be testing off of the I'm going to be testing off a local environment. But once I actually have everything built up and I want to start making some real requests and doing some things, I'm going to want to connect to a database. And I'll still have a test database kind of up in the cloud. So that'll be a few things that I'm going to try to get set up over the weekend. I'm not sure if I'll try to do a video on it, just because I know with AWS, when you're kind of in your suite, you're exposing a lot of data. Granted, I can always create something separate and then delete it, but I'm trying not to give myself too much work. But if I do end up doing a AWS video on getting up in Lightsail and all of that, it'll probably be a recorded video that I'll upload, just because I don't know how long that could take, since I've never done it before. I did find a YouTube video to get it done. I've been following it, but I haven't finished. So bear with me on that one, guys. And like I said, not within, but hopefully this weekend I get AWS figured out, get everything up on Lightsail, and we're good to go. So that way when Monday comes, we can just hit the ground running with doing our front end work. And this is actually where it's going to get interesting, because now we're going to have to go over to Adobe Studio, and we're going to grab all of those documents. And when I say what do they call it? Artifacts, I think. And we're going to grab all that stuff, and we're going to use that to get some of the materials we're going to need for our front end. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to that, and we're going to do some cool CSS stuff. So yeah, I'm excited for this part, because this is the part that's a little bit more gratifying, because you can actually see something being done, as opposed to like, oh, okay, I got a name there, oh, okay, I got text there. This is where all the magic happens. Like, this is where you go from, okay, this is name, now you can say, okay, you're getting this data, you're gonna do stuff with it, you're gonna manipulate it, and this is where we're gonna have some of our front end APIs working for us. Okay, I'm not gonna waste my time with Adobe XD. I thought I could show you guys again what's the word I'm looking for, the website design, but I don't like waiting for Adobe XD to update. Sometimes it's pretty fast, and other times it's just I don't want to deal with that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. The only thing I'm doing now is committing. So I'm gonna say I want to say the what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say I don't want to say it's like complete, like it's done. I just want to say that let's say completed. Completed. I'll say first draft. First round test suites completed for all routers. So this kind of leaves the leeway to say, okay, this is the first round of the complete. So that way when I start, if I make changes to them, I can say, okay, this is like second round, third round, whatever, right? And now I can keep track of what changes happen in which particular routers. And when I start doing, extending the routers or changing the tests, I can say exactly what changed. So now if something breaks, or if I change something that I didn't mean to, I'll know exactly which iteration of this I changed it in. So first round of completed test suites for all routers. Boom. And then we're gonna do a git push dash u. And now that everything's working, I can actually go ahead in GitHub and I can merge. Actually, I don't have to go into GitHub and do it. I can show you right here from the terminal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do git checkout master. So now I want to get on that master branch, right? Oh, git checkout master. I'm sorry. Git checkout master. So now we're on master. So now I can do git merge. And I want to do, actually I'm going to do this. So you can do git merge or git pull. It doesn't really matter in this particular case, but if you do git pull, you got to do a little bit more work. So you do git pull origin dev, right? So now we're going to get the latest. There we go. See, now we're getting the latest stuff from our development branch. And you can see here, we added some stuff. You created these new things, created this new test suite, boom, right? That's all, and this all gets tracked, so you can see that. And you can see here, yo, out of 142 lines of stuff, boom, look at that, 142 lines. So you can see all of that, and it shows you what you deleted, what you added. You can look in like git diff, I think, right? Probably can't see it now. Let's see, get, because everything's the same. But that's, you can do git log and you can see all of the changes, right? You see all, you can go deeper with this, but I just want to keep it simple. So that is everything, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. I do need you guys' support moving forward to make sure that if my audio goes out or if my voice is annoying, agitated, too monotone, whatever, I need you guys to interact with me for the audio, just to make sure that when I first get started, I don't have to manually check the audio. I can just talk with you guys, and you can say, hey, you know, your audio screwed up or your voice choppy, whatever, and I can go and, you know, make the changes. Also, you guys can ask questions, so that way if I'm going over stuff or if I'm not too clear on something, I can verify what's going on and make sure that I'm giving you guys the best experience that I can give, and that you're getting the most out of these videos. So thanks again for tuning in, and I'm signing off for the weekend. So have a good weekend,